Now the second most important adjustment entry. Let's start. Past adjustment entry for prepaid or unexpired expenses and reflect in financial statement. So what is prepaid expense? Let's learn the abbreviation first. Simply putting, it is expense which is paid in advance. Expense which is paid in advance. So if you pay something in advance, what will happen? Your cash will decrease by that amount, and what will happen to your net profit? Your net profit will also shown a decrease by that amount. Why? Because the expense, see, my financial year is from 1st April to 31st March. I need to pay some expense for 12 months in an accounting or financial year. For next 1st April also, that pertains to the next accounting year, I am paying it in this year only. So what will happen? This will not show a true position of your business, because instead of 12 months you are paying here for the 13 months. So you need to subtract 1 month expense from here and bring it up to only 12 months. Then only it will show a true and fair picture of your business. And then what will happen to the prepaid expense? It will become an assert for you. So you have to record it in the asserts column, because in next month of April you need not pay it. So let's start the entry first. The entry will be here. The question is, rent paid during the year is equal to 1,30,000. The said rent includes the rent paid for the month of April of the next financial year, 10,000. So actually what is paid is 1,30,000 and 10,000 is for the next month. So I need to remove 10,000 from here. 1,20,000 is what is related to the current financial year. So only this should reflect in my accounts and not 1,30,000. So the entry will be here, prepaid rent. Account debit by 10,000. Prepaid rent account debit to rent 10,000. Now why prepaid rent is debited? Prepaid rent is my asserts, and asserts are always debited. So I have debited prepaid rent. Why do I credit the rent? Rent has been overcast by 10,000 rupees and rent paid has a debit balance because it is expense. So I need to undercast it by 10,000 rupees here, so that the net effect comes to 1,20,000 and not 1,30,000. So rent, although the nature of an expense, it was overcast by 10,000, it had a debit balance. So I need to credit it now, so that it comes back to 1,20,000. So the presentation in the profit and loss account will be 2 for expense, to rent paid or to rent 1,30,000. What will happen if this 1,30,000 remains as it is and I don't pass any adjustment entry? Then my net profit will show a decreased balance, because instead of 1,20,000 I am putting 1,30,000 here. So what do I need to do now? Less subtract prepaid rent. rent of 10,000 and bring out the figure which relates to this accounting year, 1,20,000. Now this is showing a true position of my net profit, that 1,20,000 relates to this year, and I am showing also 1,20,000. And what about the balance sheet? In balance sheet, in the current assets, you have prepaid rent, $10,000. In the next month I need not pay 10,000 because I have already paid it now, so it is an asset for me, the current asset, prepaid rent here. So recapping, whenever there is something prepaid, from the total paid just subtract the prepaid amount and put it in the outer column. This is presentation of your profit and loss account, and in the assets side you need to write it in the current assets column, prepaid expenses, whatever the amount. A small formula to remember the above two entries, outstanding and prepaid, is, see, this is the expense. How do you present it in P&L account? This is your expense. Add outstanding. Always add outstanding less prepaid. Add outstanding less prepaid. We know the concept now, but we also need to remember some smart formulas, because in exams you can't take very long to think on the concepts. So these small things help you do it faster during your exams. Expenses in P&L account, what are the expenses? If in additional information something outstanding is written, then just put it, add outstanding here, and less prepaid for the profit and loss presentation.